This is one of Ubiquiti's latest gateways, the Dream Router 7, and in this video we're going to take a look at the specs, how well it works, and we're going to find out is it a dream or is it a nightmare. So let's jump straight in. This is the standard brown packaging that we've come to see, and it says Dream Router 7 on the sides. So let's open that up. And this is a first look. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the old Dream Router to compare this against in terms of size, but it does look fairly similar. And on the front, we have the 0.96 inch display, and on the back, we are greeted with all the ports. So if we have a look just here, we have the power that goes into here. We have a microSD slot, which we'll take a look at just shortly. We have a 10 gig SFP Plus port, so this is a massive upgrade from a previous version. And we have a secondary WAN port as well, which we didn't again have on the previous version. So all four of these ports along here are all 2.5 gigabits, and there's one PoE port at the top. This does have Wi-Fi 7 with 6 GHz support built into it also as well, and we'll be testing the speeds that we get on this a little bit later. The other thing we get inside the box is the European power cable or US power cable or wherever you are in the world, and we have a release tool. Let me just note a couple of things before we go ahead and power this on. This runs the full UniFi OS stack, so you can run network, protect, talk, and even access all of this one unit. Now, previously it used to be just network plus 2 applications, but this runs all of them on there. In terms of the SD card itself, we'll have a quick look here. It has a 64 gig built into it, and this is a Western Digital WD Purple micro SD card. So this is good for your initial protect storage, but if you want some bigger storage, then you can go ahead and upgrade this micro SD card. We'll pop that one back in, and getting it all connected is really easy and simple. First, you can pop in your internet cable. Now you can go into the 10 gig port or the 2.5 gig port, it's entirely up to you. If you want to use the SFP Plus port, you would need to use something like this. So this is an SFP Plus to RJ45 adapter, and if I show you this here, this is the multi-gig version, so this does up to 10 gigabits per second. We'll go ahead and open this and use this for this setup. And if you want a link to this product, it's down in the description below, so you can very easily just pop in your RJ45 into there, and then you can pop your SFP Plus port until it clicks in. So that's your internet cable sorted, and then we can go and plug our power cable in. And if we see the white light glowing just around the side here, and in just a moment, we should see some power come to this screen, and there you go, it's right there. Let's just give this a few moments to get set up, and we'll go ahead and set this up on our mobile device. You'll see my iPhone popping up on the screen now, and we're going to load up the UniFi app. Now on here, you'll see straight away within a couple of moments that we have the Dream Router 7 pop up. So we can go and click set up. It's going to go and connect to it via Bluetooth, so really easy and simple. We've done this with multiple products before, but this is how it works. It's going to try now and connect to the ISP, but I know this is going to take a few moments because it's going to need a VLAN for this to work with the ISP. So I can go to advanced settings, I can go to IP address settings, and we can see the VLAN ID here, and I can pop that in. Click save. So right here, I can pop in my WAN settings. We have DHCP v4. The VLAN ID, we don't need any QoS tags, and we can pop in some DNS servers. So let's just do 1.1.1.1 for the time being. We'll save that. And you can see it's now applying the changes, and it gives you some tips in case that doesn't work. So try rebooting the console, the clients, turn off the Wi-Fi adapter, and unplug and replug in any Ethernet cables if it's not working. You can see the blue light that's circling on here at the moment. So let's just give this a moment, and we'll come back once this is set up. Once you've got past the ISP part, it's going to tell you to set up your Wi-Fi. So we're just going to leave this as standard UniFi, and I've set a password already. We click next, and then it does a speed test for you, which I'm getting around 1700 megabits per second down and 976 megabits per second up, and my latency is about 4 milliseconds. We click next, and it's now going to go off and set up the UniFi OS for centralized management. So this is where you go to unifi.ui.com, and that device will appear there. So what we're going to do next, we'll let this finish up and get set up. We'll go to unifi.ui.com, check out all the settings within the router, get the Wi-Fi set up specifically for testing Wi-Fi 7, and then we'll go and give that a test. The first thing we're going to do is connect to the Wi-Fi network. So we're going to go to the available networks, and it's called UniFi. So we can click on there, click connect, and let that go off. And then we're going to just dive a little bit deeper into some of the settings, and then we will also take a look about testing the Wi-Fi speed test. So the first thing I'm going to dive into is the WAN connectivity. Now you can see there's a primary and secondary here, and you can set them and you can play around with what you want to use with them. So if you want the SFP port to be primary, you can do, or if you want the SFP port to be secondary, you can do. And you can also configure port 3 and 4 as your WAN as well. So if you didn't want to use your SFP plus at all and you wanted to connect that to, say for example, a LAN connectivity, you can do, and then use port 3, 4 and 5 as your WAN connectivity. But the maximum you can set is only 2 WAN connections. And then you have the standard setting between them. If you have multiple, you can do failover or distributed, however you want that set. Pretty much everything else is the standard UniFi OS console setup. We have the new zone-based firewall on here, and then we move across to the Wi-Fi connectivity. So this is what I'm connected to at the moment, this UniFi network. And if we drop down the settings, we have 2.4, 5 and 6 gigahertz on here. So we have all the standard configurations on here that we would expect, WPA2, WPA3, and that is ready to go. So we can connect any other devices to this network. If I go across to the client devices itself, you'll see I have this desktop that I'm joined with at the moment, which is this exact machine. And we have the Dream Router 7, which is this desktop right here. We're connected to the Dream Router 7 and we're using Wi-Fi 7. We're using channel 37, using the 6 gigahertz spectrum and the 320 megahertz width. So if I have a quick look at the settings on here, I'll quickly show you also down here. You can see within Windows, we're using 802.11.be. We're using a Wi-Fi 7 card, which is the BE200, 320 megahertz. 6 gigahertz, it's showing the aggregated link speeds, 4.3 receive and 2.8 transmit. And then it shows you the channel that's being used there as well. So 6 gigahertz, channel 37. So let's go straight to a speed test. Let's go and do this. Now, unfortunately, I can't use WiFiman on the desktop to run a speed test, but I do have my phone and I'm going to get this connected. This only has Wi-Fi 6E, but we will test the speed on this also as well. So during a wired connection, you saw at the start, I got 1.7 down and around about a gigabit up. If you remember at the start, I got about 1.7 gigabits per second down and 1 gigabit per second up. So let's go and click the speed test and let's go off on this. And the latency is around 6 milliseconds and we're getting around 1500, 1550 megabits per second in terms of download speed, which I think is relatively good considering I'm just using Wi-Fi 7 and connecting to this. And then in terms of uploads, I'm sort of maximizing that out at 974.5 megabits per second. So around about 975 megabits per second. Overall, I think this is really good for Wi-Fi 7. It works. I can get more than a gigabit speed out of it just using the simple Wi-Fi connectivity. So you can see my phone that's popped up on the screen, and just behind the iPhone you can see right here that I have the iPhone connected, and that's connected at the 6 gigahertz spectrum using 160 megahertz, and it's using Wi-Fi 6. And if we look at the app itself, it also says a similar sort of thing and it tells you the signal strength. So let's just quickly run a simple speed test on here to see what we're getting. And even with Wi-Fi 6 right next to the Dream Router itself, I'm running it right here. So we're getting about 1100 megabits per second down and around about 729 megabits per second up. And you can see the results right there. And it's showing the physical speed there also as well, 2.4 gigabits per second down and 2.1 gigabits per second up. So in terms of Wi-Fi speed, this tiny little device is really impressive. On those previous speed tests, I had IPS and IDS disabled, but I'm going to turn it on right here. So I've just turned it on. We have the default network selected. Everything is turned on and notify and block. So everything's on, turned up to the max for the maximum settings. So let's go now and test this speed test. We can click go and then we can see that's pushing its way up 1400, 1500, 1550, probably will push to 1600. So we have 1610 megabits per second download, and we're probably maximizing our upload speed there around 975, 976 megabits per second. So even you can see with IPS and IDS enabled, I'm still getting those high speeds. So the next thing I want to know is how much of an upgrade is this Dream Router 7 compared to the old Dream Router? And I've got a quick side-by-side comparison table to have a quick look. So let's start with some of the more basic specifications. So on the left-hand side, we can see the Dream Router 7, and on the right-hand side, we have the Dream Router. So we want to see what the limitations are. So in terms of the UniFi OS apps, that's the first one. The Dream Router 7, as I mentioned, runs all of them across the board, from Protect to Access to Network to Talk, all of them. And in terms of the Dream Router itself, that was only able to run 3 apps. So you would run Network plus 2 other apps. So whether that would be Protect and Talk, Access and Talk, Protect and Access. So there was only a couple of variations that you could run within that. In terms of the ports, we definitely have the new 10 gig SFP Plus port and the 2.5 gigabit WAN LAN port. And we have 3 additional 2.5 gigabit ports. And there's the one at the top here, which gives you PoE. Now on the old Dream Router itself, you had a 1 gigabit WAN port and you had 4 1 gigabit LAN ports. The only thing with the old Dream Router is it gave you 2 PoE ports instead of 1. In terms of Wi-Fi support, so the Dream Router had Wi-Fi 6, the Dream Router 7 has Wi-Fi 7 with 6 GHz support. It has a similar sort of device and client compatibility, so 30 plus devices with 300 plus clients. And in terms of storage, you needed a microSD card with the Dream Router, so it didn't come with one, and you needed at least 128 gig. This has a 64 gig card built into it to get you started, or you can get yourself a bigger micro SD card, which can be popped in here to make sure that you can record all your Protect videos. In terms of the throughput when IPS and IDS is enabled, we had around 700 megabits per second on the Dream Router and 2.3 gigabits per second on the new Dream Router 7. So definitely a lot higher in terms of the throughput that you can get with your network. Now diving a little bit deeper into the technical specifications, the Dream Router 7 sees an upgrade in terms of processor. So we go from the dual core ARM A53 to the quad core ARM A53, and that's a 1.5 gigahertz CPU in there. We have 3 gig of RAM as opposed to 2, and we have the 2x2 MIMO, whereas in the Dream Router you had a 4x4. In terms of Wi-Fi throughput though, you can see again we have some improvements across the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz range there, going up to 4.3 gigabits per second, and the 6 gigahertz network allows 5.7 gigabits per second in terms of Wi-Fi throughput. In terms of camera limits on this, I didn't see anything on the UI website around the camera limits for the Dream Router, but we have camera limits set on here, so we can have 5 HD cameras, 2 2K cameras, and 1 4K camera. It doesn't mention any specific limits around OMVIF, but I would imagine they're a bit less than what's mentioned for the UniFi cameras. Now I want to take a little bit further deep dive into the Dream Router 7 and see what sort of speeds and throughput testing that we're getting from this. Now popping up on your screen right now, you'll see some speeds and tests that have been shown. There's MLO and non-MLO that's been enabled on the device. We can have a look at some of the speeds, but you'll see right here we have 3 different main tests that we have. We have a Wi-Fi speed test, which is using WiFiman.com, and that machine is right next to me and I'm connecting to the Dream Router right here. We have Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi, so we have a Wi-Fi 7 device, again my computer, and the machine right behind me is also Wi-Fi 7 enabled as well. So we're actually doing a throughput test using open speed test, going from one machine to another to see what we're getting. And off the back of that, we're going to use Wi-Fi 7 one more time, and then we're going to go through to the machine that's connected to a 2.5 gigabit connection off the back of the Dream Router itself. So we have 3 different tests. You can see the tests on the left are the non-MLO versions, and you're getting a little bit better speed out of this at the moment, and there could be a couple of reasons why that might be. It could be the device compatibility, it could be some of the settings that we have set up on the router itself. I have done very minimal tweaks on here. It's just a very basic setup out of box to give you a rough idea as to what sort of speeds you can get. Now you can pause at any one point here if you want to take a look at the results in a little bit more detail. Then we're going to move to the range test. Now obviously we want this in our house. We want to know, do we need to plug in an additional access point? What sort of coverage are we going to get from this? So I live in a 4-bedroom house that's set up, and you'll see the floor plan right here on the screen, and we have 4 different tests that we're running. So test 1 would be in the immediate room right here. Test 2 is on the same floor at the opposite side. Test 3 is directly below, so underneath on the ground floor, and test 4 is the furthest point in my house. So I'm going to run through these one by one, and you'll see some of the tests that I've run on here. So for test 1, for example, we have an MLO and non-MLO version, so you can see the sort of throughput and the signal strength that we're getting. So looking at test 1 at the MLO, I'm not going to go through these all one by one, but I'll explain the first one as to what's going on, and then you can have a look at some of the results that you might want to see. So on the left of them, we have the WiFiman setting, which shows the band frequency and the signal and the physical speed, and it also shows the throughput as well. On the right hand side of it, I have an open speed test. So I have a Wi-Fi 7 device, which is a Pixel 8, and I'm doing an open speed test again back to this machine right here, which has the 2.5 gig connectivity to it itself. So these are the sort of speeds that we're getting with MLO and non-MLO versions, so that's in the same room. We then go to test 2, which is at the furthest point on the same floor. Again, the signal strength is really good. I'm getting good throughput speeds, whether it's MLO or non-MLO, they both seem to be giving me good results. Then we look at test 3, again directly underneath me, perfectly fine. The results, I'm still getting near gigabit per second in terms of throughput, upload and download using open speed test, and the signal strength is still really good, -49, -57. So I'm getting good signal strength from the devices themselves. And then the final test was the furthest point in my house. And you can still see -76, -79. People might be saying, okay, that's really edging onto the poor signal strength, but I still got a reasonable amount of download and upload speed. And you can see that right here. Now, the one thing I will say with non-MLO, what happened is I started on the 5 GHz frequency, which gave me the 243 megabits per second throughput. And then it dropped to the 2.4 GHz because obviously that was giving a better signal strength and more stable speed. So that then dropped down to around about 30 megabits per second. But that gives you a rough idea in terms of all of this. Now you'll notice with the MLO test, it was using the 2.4 and 5 GHz banding. There's no way to change that. It connects to what it connects to, and there doesn't seem to be any way to change this. And there doesn't seem to be any way to change this once it's connected to the Wi-Fi network. Before we conclude this video, where does this sit now in the UniFi Cloud Gateway lineup? Well, the UniFi Express 7 aside and the UniFi Cloud Gateway Fiber, we're not talking about those at the moment. We're going to talk about the Cloud Gateway Max and the Cloud Gateway Ultra. So with the Cloud Gateway Ultra, we have the 2.5 gigabit WAN, but we have the gigabit IPS and IDS limit. And the Cloud Gateway Max does give you the additional bits in terms of the storage to give you Protect, which this also has. So I think this is going to sit slightly above the Cloud Gateway Max. This gives you 2.5 gig throughout, which is the same as the Cloud Gateway Max. But this little connection right here gives you that little bit extra. So this gives you the 10 gig connectivity that you might need for your internet connection. With IPS and IDS enabled, it has a 2.3 gigabits per second limit. And rather than having fixed storage sizes that you can buy, which you can swap out the SSD on the Cloud Gateway Max, you can go ahead and get yourself a microSD card to go and pop whatever size you need in here. I want to know your thoughts on this new Dream Router. Is it something that you would upgrade your existing one, or would you be replacing something else in your network? Or is this going to be your new go-to device for your setups? For now, this is Inside Wire, and I'll see you in the next one.